Hey guys, in this exercise we're going to show you how to do a seated calf raise. So we're going to have one of the local gyms here. Let's get started. Seated calf raise works on your calves as your primary muscle group. So let's start off. The first thing you want to make sure is that your knee and your legs is secure in there and that you don't have any room to wiggle around. So you notice how you can adjust it through this knob here in the front. And this is pretty much the only adjustment you'll need to make just to make sure it goes up and down. Very simple exercise to do. Let's look at Dan's feet placement. You can place your feet, let's go and place our feet just a little bit closer here. Reason why is because you want your feet to be aligned with your knees. So, and make sure your feet's pointing forward. And notice how the toe is about an inch past the platform. This should be very good for the seated calf raise. So the main goal in the seated calf raise is to go ahead and get that stretch when you come down and then really contract up. So let's go ahead and show them some reps. Let's come all the way down. Let's slow down just a little bit. Good. Come up, squeeze, and come back down. And then come up, squeeze, and then come back down. So let me show you guys how to do a 3-second negative. So we're going to come down 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Come up. Hold for 1, 2. And then come back down. 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. So this way you get a really good stretch. Thanks, Dan. Let's go and rack it there. Now let's go over some of the improper forms of how to do this machine. The most often one I see is basically the bouncing. Just like the standing calf raise, if you bounce, you don't contract your calves. So here's an example of bouncing you may see very often. Weight comes up, just like this. Okay. Looks like you're doing the right form. There's not really much to it, but all it is, it all depends on contraction when it comes to the calves. And really for every muscle, make sure that you're contracting it. There's going to be very few people that can actually contract their calves like this fast. You got to really come down, get a good stretch, and then squeeze on the top. So always make sure that you're contracting when you're doing the seated calf raise to make sure it's effective. That's why you'll see in the program that we do a 3-second negative. So this way you can really go ahead and work that negative before you contract up and you hold it for that 2 seconds. Okay, Dan, anything you want to add to this one?
Yeah, Mike, what's the major difference between the seated calf raise and the standing calf raise?
Seated calf raise doesn't put any pressure on your back. So there may be times where you're working on an exercise before the calves and your back is really tired, your core is really tired, and if you do a standing calf raise, your core may not be strong enough to support it and you may get injuries in your lower back. So a lot of times what will be good is to go to a seated calf raise because it isolates only your calves and doesn't really work on anything else.
Great.
Okay, so that's it for how to do the seated calf raise.